Turning now to Washington, D.C., the nation's debt ceiling is once again taking center stage with a possible default in June. President Joe Biden set to meet with the four top congressional leaders this afternoon as the country faces running out of money to pay its bills in just a couple of weeks. Our Washington correspondent Cassie Simeon joins us live from Capitol Hill this morning. Everyone says, Cassie, there's no way they'd let this happen. What are you hearing?
Well, Giselle, Speaker McCarthy told reporters on his way into the Capitol this morning that there has been no progress made overnight in these negotiations, but conversations seem to be going better, at least, than they were last week at this time, because as you'll recall, we were supposed to see a meeting with the Big Four and the president on Friday. That was canceled as these discussions continued. So where do things stand right now? Well, President Biden still wants to have these two separate conversations, raise the debt ceiling clean, then we can talk about spending cuts. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, meanwhile, has passed a bill through the House to raise the debt ceiling until 2024, but that would require trillions of dollars in spending cuts to key Democratic priorities. In the Senate, where Democrats have control, that is a non-starter. Now, the president did not publicly address the negotiations Monday, except to say that he would be meeting with McCarthy today, but he did signal over the weekend he would be willing to potentially add work requirements to social safety programs such as SNAP, formerly known as food stamps. That is something Republicans are proposing in their House bill. Of course, Democrats are ruffling their feathers at that. McCarthy, meanwhile, is expressing concern that they need to reach a deal soon, especially with the Senate out of session for the rest of the month after this week. This is really reminiscent, Giselle, of 2011, when then President Barack Obama struck a deal with congressional Republicans just 2 days before the Treasury estimated its borrowing limit would be exhausted. But while the U.S. did not default, America's credit rating was downgraded, and that is something that is currently at risk if these negotiations go south. So remember, the Big Four are meeting today with President Biden as well as Vice President Kamala Harris. That meeting today is at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. And Janet Yellen released a letter yesterday saying that we are still tracking for that June 1st deadline, that we could run out of money to pay our bills. So they need to do something, and quickly, to get this resolved before that June 1st deadline. That's only 15 days away now.
Yeah, especially as polls show that Americans are exhausted by the whole thing. Anyway, keep us posted on all developments. It matters. Thank you very much, Cassie.